fun video. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, but it's been true a lot lately. In this video, we are going to be testing out and shooting a Kel-Tec PMR-30. It's in this box. I haven't shot it yet. I haven't put any rounds in it. I haven't done anything with it yet. But if you're not familiar, the PMR-30 is a 22 Magnum pistol with a 30 round capacity. It doesn't have some crazy long magazine either. This is the magazine for it. So it's a standard size, fits in your hand well. 22 Magnum pistol made by Kel-Tec that holds 30 rounds. This isn't my gun, but my buddy Tim sent it over. This is a brand new gun. He said, hey, shoot it, let me know what you think, test it out, let's see if it works. Tim also sent all this ammo for us to test out. We have 30 grain bullets all the way up to 50 grain bullets, hollow points, non-hollow points. We're gonna run this thing through the ringer, see how it works. Now, I have never shot a Kel-Tec before, but if you're not familiar with Kel-Tec, they make a bunch of cool guns. I went to the big city today. Those of y'all know where I live and know what the big city is, but I went to the big city, just stopped off in the store. They had a couple Kel-Tecs. One was a shotgun that held like 24 rounds. I think another one was a 9mm carbine that held a bunch of rounds. So Kel-Tec makes some definitely interesting guns. This is one of them, and I've thought about picking up one of these in the past. I'm doing a lot of talking, but I promise you we're gonna get to the shooting here. I've recently become a 22 Magnum fan because I was down at Heavy Metal and Paul had this as a trade-in. This is a Savage Model 93 in 22 Magnum. First 22 Magnum I've ever shot. I've fallen in love with 22 Magnum cartridge. This is now my everything gun. Squirrel, this gun. Woods gun, I'm going for a hike, this gun, slinging it over my shoulder. Tack driver, and not expensive. I love the 22 Magnum. So when Tim said, hey, you want to try this gun out, I just dropped a bullet on the ground. I said, absolutely. Got super excited. I'm a recent lover of the 22 Magnum, and I'd heard about this and thought about it previously. Let me tell you why I thought about it previously. People that don't like a lot of recoil, I think this would be perfect for them. My wife, she doesn't like shooting 9mm. It's just simply too much kick. Can't shoot it accurately. So I thought that this would be a perfect home defense gun for my wife. 30 rounds of 22 Magnum. I mean, that's ridiculous. This, I would even go as far as to say this would be a legitimate carry gun for everybody. So that's one of the things we want to test out today. Is it reliable? Could you use it as a carry gun, home defense gun, what have you? If you're not familiar with the 22 Magnum, let me show you up close real quick next to a 22 long rifle. There are both of those rounds there. These are actually CCI Mini Mag and a CCI Maxi Mag, but you can see the Magnum on the right is considerably longer. I've done several videos before with the 22 Magnum rifle. Long story short, 22 Magnum has about twice as much power as a 22 long rifle. But that is absolutely way too long of an intro. Let's get to shooting this PMR-30, see how it runs, see what we can do with it. First, let's open the box real quick, see what comes in the box. So, this is an extra magazine Tim sent over. And another thing too, the magazines are super light. But, open up the box, this is absolutely untouched. I did peek to see what the gun looked like, but full manual. Let me spend 20 seconds on the manual. So, a couple things I thought were cool. I actually did read this because it's not my gun and wanted to make sure I took good care of it. This is a color manual, has a full parts breakout list. Tells you how to load it, how to unload it, full pictures, full color. Tells you how to take it apart and reassemble it. I thought that was very, very cool. Very, very nice manual. You don't see people doing full color manuals with real pictures in them anymore. Very, very cool. I appreciated that. Then there's a NRA card. You get some stickers if you want some Kel-Tec stickers. Has a extra fiber optic little thing there if you want to change the sights out. Not sure what that is. Oh, trigger lock. That's neat. Comes with an extra mag. Comes with a magazine in the gun. So let's do a real quick look at the gun. First off the bat, you notice It has fiber optic sights. I'm a big fan of fiber optic sights. Green in the front, red on the back. Very easy to pick up. I'm gonna go ahead and take that flag out there. Not much like you wouldn't expect from a pistol. It's got ambidextrous safety. It has a rail on the front. The magazine release is that button right there. A little bit interesting, but I don't think that should be a problem. I don't think anybody's going to be trying to do any speed reloading since it holds 30 rounds. But the pistol's also very light. Very, very light. All of it is polymer except for, looks like the barrel and the slide rail there. So very, very neat little pistol. Release works well there. Don't have to press it down too terribly hard on a brand new gun. Sometimes those are real hard boogers to press, but all in all, seems like a solid little thing. I actually like the grip. Let's put some bullets in this thing and see what we can do here. I did do a little bit of research on the history of these. This is 2019. These have actually been out, believe it or not, almost 10 years. But one of the main complaints that I found from some people was the magazines. Now it's 10 years down the road. I honestly don't know if there actually were problems or people just like to complain sometimes. You know how that goes. But we're going to test it out live here. And you guys didn't come to watch me load magazines, but I am going to load one because that was one of the main complaints. People did not like the magazines. For this, I'm going to use some of the most common ammo. You go down to Walmart, you're probably going to have this as an option, CCI Maxi Mag. So let's see if we can load this sucker up. Let me count these actually first to make sure we got 30. Somebody just said that would have made a lot more sense to just count them when they were in the box, when they're in rows of 5. Yep, that's absolutely true. But we got 30 here. We're gonna see how hard it is to load. Now, nothing too crazy about that, right? Looks like just like you'd expect. It has this little lip here. And since this is not my gun, I 100% read the user manual. And the user manual said to make sure that you push the bullet all the way back to the back. So I'm doing that there, and it said every 5 rounds to take it and smack the back up against your hand or something solid, just to make sure that those bullets are seated all the way against the back plate of the magazine. And it said to do that until you get 20 rounds in, and then once you get 20, to smack it every 2 rounds or so. So I'm gonna load this thing all the way up. So far, so good. Not seeing any problems or anything. There's 10 rounds. We'll smack it again. And the user manual also said that once you get to about 20, it's going to get a little bit harder to load, which that's obviously expected. You got a 30 round magazine. Once you get 20 down in there, it's probably going to have quite a bit of tension on that spring. So we've got 15 in there, and honestly right now about 15 I'm starting to feel that it's a little bit harder to get those rounds down in there, but not to the point where I'm having to struggle. Alright, so this magazine, how many is that? That's 18 in there, and it's actually getting pretty stiff. After that 3 rounds or so, after 15, it started to get a little bit stiffer. So now I got 20 in there, and it absolutely is kind of getting hard to load this magazine. But I'm going to see if I can get 30 in here, and then we'll go from there. With these rim fires, you can't press too hard or you'll start to damage the case, and you don't want to be firing a bunch of cases with dinged up brass there. this one's actually getting to be pretty tough. So I'm actually not gonna load this one anymore, because those last two I had to press pretty hard, and actually I can see dimpled that brass a little bit. So actually that last one fell out. Right at 20 is enough for this magazine. I'm gonna load up these others off camera, and if I have the same or if I can get more or less, I will absolutely let you guys know. This one has 22 in it. 22, really hard to load. But tell you what, let's take these 22 rounds, put it on some paper just to see exactly where these are hitting, and so we know where to hold. The sights on this, the rear sights are not adjustable, but the front sights are adjustable for windage, so you can adjust the front sight left or right, but not up and down. So 22 in this first mag. Let's see how she runs. CCI Maxi Mag in here. Alright, so this is that magazine that we only got 22 rounds in. Let me rack it here, see if anything happens. So that very first bullet acted like it wanted to snag, but it did go up in there. Safety off. I'm standing right at 10 yards. Let's see how we can do on these paper targets, just to make sure I know absolutely where I'm supposed to be holding here. These fiber optic sights are awesome. Love the fiber optics, but let's see how we can do on the paper here, just so we know how to hold. Can't get over how light this thing is too. Very, very light. That was about 6 inches high, but that could have been me. Let's take another shot. And we got a click. So let's see what happened here. Well, that second round didn't load, so let's see if it loads. Oh, second round loaded. See what happens here with this one. That shot was a little bit better. That one was very close to the second shot. Let's just do some shooting here and see how we can do. Alright, let me move and shoot the rest on that right target there. Alright, so only hang up was on the second round. Felt smooth. I actually really like the trigger on that. Let me show you guys that trigger on here. Let me move over here. I really like this trigger. A lot of people I've read do not like the trigger, but me personally, I like the trigger. To me, it's pretty smooth, but that ran all of those 22 except for one failure to feed there. Let's go down there and check those groups. Then we're gonna do a whole lot more shooting with this thing. Actually, I'm just gonna zoom you in here. But so the first 10 shots or so were on the left there, a little bit high. The second 10 were on the right. I'd say all still a little bit high, so we're going to hit the bullseye. We need to hold a little bit low, but I'd say for 10 yards and shooting kind of fast, not too terrible at groups there. But let's see what we can do to shooting some more. So I just loaded up these two other magazines, and good news to report, I was absolutely able to load both of these full with 30 rounds, which I'm very excited about, because to me that's one of the key points, key awesome things about this PMR-30 is you can have 30 rounds. So this right here is loaded with 30 rounds of that Hornady 30 grain VMAX, and then this one right here is loaded with 30 grain Federal V-Shoks. You can see these are hollow points. Those Hornadys are those plastic red tips, whatever you want to call them, ballistic tips, and then these are the Federal hollow points. So both of these are 30 grain bullets. Let's see how we can run these. That first magazine was a whole lot of fun. It only had that one issue on the second round. So far, I really like this 22 Magnum pistol. But tell you what, let's shoot some steel at a little bit longer range. That paper we checked the sights on was 9-10 yards. Let's step back a little bit further to 15 yards. See if we can hit some steel targets. Hopefully I can do the thing justice. So far I'm loving this pistol. Alright, let's shoot those red tipped Hornadys first. Like I said, 15 yards, and honestly I'm not sure how I could load these two up to 30. I think I may just have been more deliberate about pushing. This one's to the left, this one's to the right, so on and so forth. So I'm going to try that first magazine again, but here we go, 15 yards with this Hornady 30 grain rounds. We'll see how this stuff runs, see if I can hit anything with this 22 mag pistol here. Tell you what, I'm going to take a few, go for some headshots here on that guy. That trigger surprised me. I think I completely missed that. And we had another little failure there. The nose of the bullet is actually stuck on the feed ramp with those Hornadys, but went right in there. Let's see if we can go for a headshot again here. Did I miss again? Maybe 15 yards is too far away. Let's go center mass, aiming at that orange there. That one actually had a failure to eject, so that spent casing didn't fall out there. Oh, let's keep shooting. I'm gonna go center mass on this guy. Alright, that was a hit. Up and to the right there, it looks like. Let's keep going. A click. So another one not feed there. That was a dead center shot there. Another one where the bullet is stuck on the feed ramp. So far it's not liking to eat this Hornady with that red tip stuff. Definitely knocking that center back. Let me go for some more headshots here. I'm starting to get the hang of this thing, and it's feeding a little bit better. Tell you what, let's move over to the black plate. I don't know how many rounds I got left. Let me check here. We got at least 5 down in there. Let's see if we can hit that plate there. A little bit smaller of a target. So that Hornady did not run as well in this gun, but then again, it's really hard to say. Is it the gun? Is it the ammo? I don't know. So far that CCI mini mag it liked the most. Didn't have much problems for that. Alright, now I'm gonna load up that magazine with this Federal V-Shok 30 grain stuff. Honestly, I didn't think that 22 Magnum was gonna have enough boogie on it to push back the flippers on that steel, but it absolutely did, even with those 30 grain rounds. But another close look at these. This is that Federal 30 grain hollow points there. I'll see if the Federals run any better than those Hornadys. Remember, 30 rounds in here as well. Well, that first one didn't want to go all the way up. Let's give it a little bit of help here. Let's mix up that camera angle just a little bit, make it more interesting. Had one of those get stuck on the feed ramp. And another. And another failure to feed. That one went in there. And another failure to feed. And another failure. So far the hunting rounds aren't doing so hot here. And another. These hollow points aren't feeding the greatest. That one went in there. Let's move over to that black plate there. Another one didn't want to load. That last 8, 9, or 10 or so fed pretty good out of there. So I was doing a little bit of speed shooting there, wasn't necessarily looking for precision, but on that Federal it didn't want to feed so good as well there. So on the 30 grain Federal V-Shok and the 30 grain Hornady V-Max, both of those were having trouble feeding. You saw there, once they fed, they fired fine and blew the slide back, but both of those hunting rounds had issues. So far that CCI Maxi-Mag was the ammo to pick, but let's load up some more ammo, see what we can do. Alright, so now I've loaded 2 magazines full of 30 with the CCI Maxi-Mag TNTs. These are 30 grain as well. And these 22 Winchester Rimfire, these are 45 grain. Let me show you what these look like. The CCIs are another 30 grain hollow point. Take a look at those there. These are supposed to be burning in there pretty fast, 2200 feet per second or so. And then these 45 grainers are some heavier hollow points there. Does it say how fast these are going? No, it doesn't, but we'll have to put these on a chronograph in a different video. But these are a little bit heavier hollow points. We're going to see how these run. Almost forgot to mention that first magazine I couldn't load all the way up to the top. I just got 30 in. So I think really what it was is I wasn't used to the magazine, but what really helps is what helps in loading these is that you're very deliberate. This one's going to the left, this one's going to the right, making sure they go all the way to the back. This one's going to the left, this one's going to the right. When you do it that way, all 3 of these magazines I can get 30 rounds in. Once you get above 20, it's a little bit harder to do, but it's not impossible. All 3 of these magazines are running just fine now. Let's shoot 30 rounds of this CCI 30 grain TNTs, see how we can do on the steel here. So far the 30 grain hunting rounds aren't doing so hot, but we'll see how these run here. Yep, another one failure to feed there. It's just stuck up on the ramp just like some of the other ones. It's in there now. Let's see how it runs. Am I hitting the center there? I'm seeing it shaking. Let's go for some headshots. So, those were running pretty good up until then. See if we can put some on that black plate there. Let's finish off with some headshots. Those CCI TNT 30 grains actually ran better than some of that other 30 grain stuff. I think we only had 2 failure to feeds out of that magazine. Let's go grab some more ammo. Alright, now we're going to load some of this stuff. And this is the 45 grain hollow points there. Some bigger bullets. See how this stuff feeds. That one fed just fine on the first round. Let's go for the plate first. I really like these fiber optic sights. I like shooting this pistol. We can find an ammo that feeds good. So far that Maxi Mag at the beginning fed good. But I like the weight of it. I like the grip. I like the trigger. I like the sights. We can get it feeding. This thing will be ready to go. Oh man. And then nothing happened on that trigger pull. That one didn't load the next round. Now that one did the same thing too. I test fired some of these because I wasn't sure that they would fire, because these actually have a little bit shorter casing on them. So I wasn't sure if they really were magnums, but the test shots I fired fed them just fine. So these might just be underpowered and aren't going to run the gun, even though it ran just fine when I test fired them. If I can get one to load here. Yeah, they weren't at the back of the magazine there. Let's see what happens. Like I said, these were feeding just fine when I did a little testing off camera, because these casings looked a little bit shorter than the other magnums, but shot just fine when I tested them. See if I can get one to load again. Yeah, it's pushing those to the front, but it's not loading it up into the feed ramp. Let me unload some of these and see if I can get this ammo to work. Alright, so I got one to load. Let's see what happens with it. Black plate. And a click. So, this stuff here, if you look in my hand here, is just a hair bit shorter than the rest of the 22 magnums, and it's not wanting to fire. But like I said, off camera I had 3 of them fire in a row, bang bang bang, no problem. But maybe it's just when you load the magazine down full that this stuff isn't wanting to fire. So we're gonna have to do some more testing with this stuff to see if it'll work, but I'm gonna move on to some more ammo. Alright, so the last magazine we're gonna run is this Federal Game Shok. These are 50 grainers. These, out of all the stuff we've shot today, these rounds most closely resemble a full metal jacket, so I'm hoping these run just like those CCI Maxi Mags did. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, but let's see what we can do with these babies. We got 30 rounds. We'll see how these do. Like I said, these are the hunting or varmint rounds that most closely resemble those full metal jackets that work the best for us so far. Hey, first sucker fed. Let's see what we can do here. Let's go for that black plate first here. good. Headshot. The more I shoot this, the more I love it. My groups are getting a little bit better too. Let's do some more headshots. Was a flawless magazine there, so whew, man, that's a whole lot of fun shooting this thing. Let's go back to the table, review what we did here. If you're interested in a 22 Magnum pistol, I would absolutely recommend you pick one of these up. Like I said, it ran just fine when we did some of the more full metal jacket type ammo, but if you like a 22 Magnum, or you're looking for something a little bit more powerful than a 22 LR in a pistol, I recommend checking out the PMR-30. Very, very cool little gun. I'm sure that some of this hollow point ammo, if we did some slight modifications to the pistol, you know, polish the feed ramp, take it apart, polish everything up, we could get some of this to run a little bit better. But since this isn't my gun, I'm not gonna polish anything or change the gun at all. But just to make the point, I'm sure if you did do a little bit of polishing on that ramp there, you could probably get these to feed in a little bit slicker and be a little bit more reliable with the hunting ammo. But straight out of the box, factory, runs the full metal jackets just good. My thoughts on the PMR-30. It's a whole lot of fun to shoot. Like I said earlier in the video, I love the 22 Magnum cartridge in and of itself. What did we learn from all this shooting? This gun runs great when you feed it the full metal jacket stuff. This Maxi-Mag stuff run very good in it. Or these Federal, which ones were these? The Game Shoks, 50 grain Game Shoks, which very closely resemble a full metal jacket. They are hollow points, but they're not big hollow points, they're small hollow points, so very close in comparison to those CCI mini mags, Maxi Mags rather. But so the gun does not like to eat the more, what I'll say, severe hollow points, which you'd be loading for, you know, varmint hunting or what have you, or possibly for self-defense. But full metal jacket or these Game Shoks, which are hollow points, but they're just not as extreme hollow points, ran good. So all in all, I love the gun. What do I love about it? A couple things. It's light, very, very light. I need to look it up, but I'm pretty sure this does not even weigh 2 pounds. I'm pretty sure it's 1 pound and some change, if I had to guess. I love the sights. Even on this cloudy day, those fiber optics really stand out very, very well. I love that it holds 30 rounds. I love the sights. I love straight up that it shoots 22 Magnum. But very, very, very fun gun to shoot, especially when it's running good and you're using the ammo that works. So appreciate you guys coming along on this long PMR-30 review with me, but I really wanted to take the time and make a video with this pistol, doing it justice, running it through a bunch of different types of 22 Magnum ammo. 22 Magnum is not exactly cheap. It's not even close as far as price goes to 22 LR. So if you're going to want to pick up a bunch of 22 Magnum, you're going to want to know what runs in your gun. So I wanted to take the time, if you got a PMR or you're thinking about getting a PMR, what runs good, at least in this one. So if it were me and I'm gonna carry this, I would probably load this sucker up with these Game Shoks and call it a day. These aren't terribly expensive rounds, these Federal Game Shoks, and they ran good. You still got a hollow point that runs good. You're not loading up full metal jacket in it, and you still got a hollow point in it. Home defense, hunting, what have you. But thanks for watching this video, guys. A big thanks to Tim for sending this gun out for us to play with it and testing out all of this ammo. That video was a whole lot of fun. Also, a big shout out and a big thanks to the Heavy Metal Guns and Outdoors channel for helping us out too. Everybody go check them out. We're going to be doing a whole lot of testing with this pistol, maybe comparing the different expansion of these bullets out of the pistol, out of the rifle, and having a whole lot of fun. So check out and stay tuned for those videos too. Okay.